Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Ryan Elliott, a local realtor here in St. John's, Metro, Newfoundland. If you're thinking of moving here, whether it's St. John's, Mount Pearl, Paradise, Conception Bay South, or even East Extern, there are some unique things you need to know. Today, I'll break down the good, the challenging, and the surprising details that people usually search for before actually making the move to our beautiful province. So first, weather and climate. Why Newfoundland feels different? Because we're an island in the North Atlantic. The weather is heavily influenced by the ocean. So that means fog, wind, and quick changes in conditions. 1 hour it's sunny and the next it could be a downpour and rain. Snow and storms, we do get a lot of snow compared to mainland cities. Paradise and Torbay, which sit higher up, often get more accumulation than CBS, which benefits from the milder coastal air. Snow clearing differences. Well, in St. John's, the city has rules about on-street parking bans and how quickly roads get cleared. In CBS or Paradise, snow clearing can take longer, especially on side streets, so homeowners rely more on a private snow clearing service. Heating costs, well, because winters are long and they're damp, heating is a big unknown factor from those traveling from other provinces. Older homes may use oil, which is costly and fluctuates with the market, and many people are switching to electric baseboard or mini-split heat pumps for efficiency. The upside, summer is mild, no extreme heat waves like Ontario, and the long daylight hours in June and July make it amazing for hiking, barbecues, and exploring. Affordability explained. Housing is far less expensive than Ontario or BC or even Halifax, mainly because demand is lower and land isn't as restricted. A detached home here can cost way less than a condo in Toronto. St. John's, you'll find historic row homes in older neighborhoods with charm, but they can come with a higher maintenance costs. In St. John's, you're closer to the nightlife, restaurants, and MUN. In Mount Pearl, it's compact, it's family oriented with schools and community centers nearby. Smaller lot sizes, but very central. Paradise, one of the fastest growing areas in Atlantic Canada, mostly newer builds, modern layouts, young families, easy highway access. In CBS, the big draw is ocean views and larger lots, but you trade that for a longer commute into the city. For East Extern, that'll be Torbay, Logie Bay, Middle Cove, and Portugal Cove and St. Phillips. You'll have a rural feel, a quieter lifestyle, and it's only minutes from St. John's. This appeals to people who want privacy without being so far from their work. The rental market, it's a little limited because a lot of housing here is geared towards ownership. Many newcomers rent basement apartments or units in newer developments while they look for a home. Cost of living, let's talk about groceries first. Costs are higher because almost everything has to be shipped by boat or plane, and obviously that adds fuel surcharges, which show up in the price of produce and goods. For example, milk and bread are often noticeably more expensive than in mainland cities. Next, we have the utilities. Heating is the big one. Winter electricity bills can be double what you're used to seeing in other milder provinces. Oil heating, for those still using it, can mean $400 to $600 monthly in the peak months. Property taxes, each municipality sets its own mill rate. St. John's tends to be higher due to more city services, while Paradise and CBS are slightly lower, which can save homeowners thousands over time. Insurance, well, the good news, property insurance is cheaper here compared to Ontario or BC. Lower risk of things like forest fires and earthquakes means premiums are often much more manageable. Jobs and economy. Why the job market is limited. Newfoundland has a smaller, resource-based economy. Oil and gas used to dominate, but fluctuations in that industry impact job security. So government, healthcare, education provide stability to the people, but there aren't as many private sector jobs as in bigger cities. Remote work opportunities. This has been a game changer. People can bring jobs from Toronto or elsewhere, enjoy a lower cost of living, and still earn their mainland salaries. Now let's talk about unemployment. Rates are often higher than the Canadian average because many industries are seasonal. construction and tourism, and there are fewer employees overall. That's why it's best to have work lined up before you actually move here. Hospitality is big in Newfoundland, and we are known for friendliness and community spirit. Neighbors look out for one another, and many people comment on how easy it is to meet new friends in St. John's. Art and nightlife. George Street is famous for its pubs and live music, but beyond that, there are festivals, art shows, and a vibrant local music scene. The Irish and English cultural roots are very strong here. Outdoors, the East Coast Trail runs for hundreds of kilometers, and it's one of the most scenic hiking systems in all of Canada. Whale watching, iceberg viewing, and kayaking are all regular activities that you see people do here. Things move a little slower here than probably what you're used to, both in daily routines and especially in business. That's a plus for many people looking to escape big city stress. Now let's talk about healthcare. Newfoundland has a smaller population spread across a wide area, which means fewer specialists. Combine that with doctor shortages and an aging population, and you get longer waits for things like family doctors or specialist referral. St. John's hospitals are modern, they serve the whole province, but demand can definitely outpace the supply. For education, we have Memorial University. It is one of the most affordable universities in Canada, making it a draw for families and definitely international students. For when it comes to transportation, we have public transit, but routes are definitely limited. Most households need at least one car. The airport connects to Toronto and Halifax and beyond, but being on an island means weather delays are fairly common. So if you're moving to St. John's Metro, you'll enjoy affordable housing, a friendly lifestyle, and amazing natural beauty, but you also need to be ready for weather challenges, higher grocery costs, and definitely limited job markets. If you're thinking of making the move, I'd love to help you find the right home here in St. John's Metro. So reach out anytime. My info is in the description. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more comment on living in Newfoundland, and drop your questions below. I love answering every single one of them.